I guess I hit 20,000 subscribers. That's pretty big. That's a big deal. I guess that's one way to start 2020. 2019 was probably the best year I've had in a long time for various reasons, but mostly for the YouTube channel because it took off. And I have so many people to thank, but the only reason I'm here is because of you. It's because you guys kept watching, because you guys would look forward to new videos, and we're only getting started. Before I get into that though, something I've wanted to do for a long time is talk about my history with online entertainment and have it documented, because I've streamed a couple times and I talk about some goofy stuff that I did when I was younger, but I don't think I've actually really gotten into it. One of the reasons I started making videos was Chugga Conroy. I knew from as soon as I started watching his content, I wanted to make Let's Plays. Let's Plays were huge. I could play video games and talk about them and why I love them, and I could also help people clear the game easy. That's a career. Obviously, looking back on it now, no. There are so many Let's Plays these days that there's not even a fucking point in making them anymore. At least for me. So many people have moved to live streaming as well. But like I said, back then YouTube was a lot different. You'd have Chugga Conroy for Let's Plays, and then I'd watch AVGN, who basically pioneered the kind of style of critique we see on YouTube these days. And I was young too. I don't remember. I must have been and while I'm watching all of this, I must be like 11 years old. Yeah, I decided I want to do this. This is what I want to do, and I have dreams beyond this. But this is something that I've always really wanted to pursue. So I did. But my parents wouldn't allow me to upload anything because obviously, when you're a kid and you're trying to upload stuff to the internet, my parents are trying to protect me. So I just made them for myself, and I burned them onto a DVD. I still have those DVDs, and if I can transfer the files, I will play some clips for you now. Yeah, another thing I should mention is that I also watched the cute Mario Brothers back when they were new, and probably around my age, so I really wanted to make content like that. It's just, when you're a kid, you're playing around with toys, you kind of create your own narrative from it. I wanted to do that. And obviously, ever since I hit puberty, I didn't really give a shit. But, I'll go back to that channel every now and again. They're still around. So I started making content like that, and then I decided to start uploading it after I was old enough to make an account for myself. But I'm glad I did, because had I not, I would not have gotten valuable feedback on the content that I was making. Back then, our upload speed was so terrible that each episode of my Let's Play took 3 hours to upload or something, and it was a 9-minute video at best. And it was ridiculous how long it was taking. So, I was like, why is it taking so long? How do I do this? And then I learned that you can compress the video. So, keep in mind that I'm recording my screen with a camcorder, or maybe it was an iPod Nano back then, oh god. But regardless, I'm filming my screen, and then you take that filmed screen with a horrible glare and just awful angle, and you compress it to 240p, and to me it's that's genius, because I can upload it faster. That means I can upload more episodes per day. That is probably close to the worst idea I've ever had, and I got made fun of for it. And back then when you're a kid, you're vulnerable, and I was already getting bullied, so I was like, oh fuck, well this sucks. So I stopped making videos for a while, but I did learn from that. But because I was so young, I couldn't get myself a capture card or something, so I just waited a few years, made another channel, which is the one you're watching right now. I made it in 2012. I don't remember what I uploaded before I started my first Let's Play. I think it was just miscellaneous gameplay. I started a Wind Waker Let's Play, and that video is private, but it is still up. And within it, you can see the video quality is horrendous. I've zoomed in on the screen to fit the widescreen ratio. Obviously, I'd zoom out because I had a 4x3 TV, and I was just like, you know what, it's a 4x3 game, makes sense. Of course, I'm trying to rationalize this when the quality is so awful. But the other noticeable thing, if you've ever watched Chugga Conroy play Wind Waker, is I ripped off his commentary.
I like how she needs a telescope to see 5 feet in front of her. Jeez.
Why is she using a telescope, though? Like, he's like freaking 5 feet away.
Perhaps I liked these personalities a little too much, and I definitely plagiarized them. But the videos aren't up now, so I mean, and even if I did, like, I'm pretty sure the video only got like 30 views at best. So I continued making really awful content for a while, really awful Let's Plays, and I refused to make any money and buy myself a capture card. Nobody would buy one for my birthday because nobody knew what I was talking about. Then my friend lent me his Dazzle, and I started using a Dazzle. And around that time, a friend of mine named Rising Jericho, who is still around, he still makes videos. He's still doing videos, and he's doing a Let's Play of Budokai 3 right now. It's been a huge blast from the past. That game is still really good. I really enjoy that game. And Bob does put a lot of effort into his Let's Plays. He's like, let's put it like, he's like a modern day Chugga Conroy that does exclusively anime games and some other stuff. He did Metroid Prime at one point, if you'd like to watch that. And I recommend that too. Bob does a great job with them. If you're ever feeling like nostalgic for some of the games you used to play when you were a kid, based on like anime and stuff. And we did some Let's Plays together, which are, I believe, private now. But we did Honey Pop as well, because Honey Pop came out around that time. And that game's fucking hilarious. I thought it was just going to be like, you go on dates and it's porn. It's not just porn. It's like a really well-written game. The puzzles are really addicting. It's just fun. It's just a fun-ass game. Anyway, it was around this time where I decided that, you know what? Traditional Let's Plays are not going to get me anywhere. I need to change how I do things. And about a year before, I had started playing the Shantae series. And, you know, I liked the first game. I liked Risky's Revenge. But Pirate's Curse, I fucking love. I still do. I play it every now and again because it's that fun. It's like one of the best Metroidvanias I have ever played. I got super passionate about those games. I was like, these are awesome. And thank God they were finally gaining traction back then. And I thought to myself, you know, it'd be awesome if the dialogue was voice acted. I feel like they could convey a lot of the jokes better if it weren't just text. And at the time, I was really obsessed with voice acting. I really wanted to be a voice actor. I still do. I'm still willing to voice act. But I decided, why don't I just give it voice acting? And I instead of just doing a dub of the game, you know, like most people would those days when they made dubs of games, I turned it into a dub Let's Play hybrid, which had never been done before. As far as I'm aware, I think Chugga Conroy only did like a couple of segments where he voiced characters. Like Jabun and the Deku Tree were both voiced by people he knew at the time. I think Nintendo Capri Sun was in that Let's Play. So that was probably where I got the initial idea. I mean, nobody's original. Honestly, we gather ideas from so many places. Nobody's really original, are they? Anyway, I started casting for that Let's Play, and a lot of people caught on. One of those people was Danielle Chambers, or Skinny Minnie. We will talk about her. All sorts of people were on that project, and I'm really grateful that casting call gained traction, because had it not, I wouldn't have gotten my first boom. These Shantae Let's Plays were the primary reason I gained any traction at all, because it was something that no one had really seen before, as far as I'm aware. I don't think anybody had done them before. And looking back on them now, I directed them very poorly. I just gave them the scripts, and I was like, do your voices. Every now and again, I'd meet with a few of them to re-record lines, and those lines that I re-recorded ended up being the best in the series, because I was able to give them proper direction. I was like, can you pronounce the word like this? Can you inflect on this part of the sentence? Can you sound more angry? Can you deliver this with a growl in your voice? Kind of like that. And the later games, I got really good at that, and it paid off. They were really fun to watch. I don't know if I'd do it again. I'll participate in a few other dubs and whatnot. I think I'm in the middle of one right now. I won't say anything about it yet, but it could have been better. But I'm really happy that it gave me the first boom, and I needed that boom too. Unfortunately, though, that also attracted a large audience, expecting only that. And that was the first run-in I had with, like, this obsessive audience that won't go away because they're expecting one thing. And my friend Lamhoot, oh my god, the SpongeBob fans will not leave him alone. They want him to play those SpongeBob games every day. The only thing he should be reviewing is SpongeBob. It's absurd. And don't worry, I got a fair bit of that, aside from this series. Another game series I used to play was Attack of the Power of Juju. I played through the original trilogy, and I fucking hated the fourth game. The fifth game I'm indifferent to. The TV show sucked, and it kind of died out. Unfortunately, what happened with that was the studio, Avalanche Software, was bought out by Disney. And then Disney Interactive shut down, and then Warner Brothers acquired them. So before they were bought by Disney, they were an independent company who had sold their IP to Nick, and Nickelodeon were like, "Yeah, we'll make this better for you, and we'll market it, and it's gonna do well." And each game sold like 1 million copies or something. Despite the sales and like the decent reviews, it never really caught on. And up until that point, there weren't many people that actually remembered that series. So at the time, I was like, I'm just gonna marathon all of them in a Let's Play. And I Let's Played, I think, 1 and 2, and I did like brief talks about Game Boy Advance games. But those Let's Plays also took off because no one had really done any like that before. I got a huge audience expecting only that. So I had these two crowds that wanted these two specific things, and you could kind of say that I'm there right now with Valve, but I think the audience has kind of bundled together enough that it doesn't matter that much. Anything that I make that isn't Valve or whatever, that, you know, what people are expecting is going to get less views. But there are crowds of people looking for everything from me, and that's something that I've built my channel on. Even back then, I was making Let's Plays on all sorts of different games. I think I did one on Madagascar, the video game, for some reason. It was always like that. But when you're a small channel, you really feel that weight. So I didn't know what to do. And I kind of was getting sick of Let's Plays at the same time. They were getting tired and stale and nothing was going anywhere. So I completely stopped doing them. I canceled everything that I was working on, and I think I did Half Genie Hero later at the very least, but that was the last one I ever did. I never did any Let's Plays after that. After that, I decided that I was going to go into scripted content because I wanted to write about video games. And, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I just kind of, like, found my rhythm as I went. The first video I ever made, you can watch it right now if you'd like to, is Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. It was a review of that game, and, I'm not going to say it's my worst video, but it is horrible. You know, the word cringe gets thrown around a lot, but funny and epic is how I would describe it. I think I said that on my 5K stream when I was rewatching it. I was like, funny and epic, like 50 times.
He's really telling the truth this time, guys. He's actually not.
Funny and epic! Funny and epic! Funny! Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. I wanted to refine my humor, and I wanted to be like a humorous reviewer, even though everybody was doing that these days, and they were much better at it, and they had time to find their way. I was just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks, and nothing did. So I decided to dabble in something original. After I made videos on a few games, I just decided to incorporate something of my own into it. It wasn't even my own creation. This is a Zelda character. And I incorporated Midna into pretty much all of my videos, or most of my videos, from then until Darksiders 1 in 2018, which I only used her once in, and I'm still okay with using her once, you know? But if that was your first video, you're probably very confused. Yeah, this went on for a while. At the time, like, looking back on that first video, which was on TAC, by the way, and that really added fuel to the fire for that crowd. Looking back on it now, a lot of those jokes were, oh my god, they were forced. Jesus, they were horrible. Those skits were so bad. Although I won't be privating or unlisting any of those videos, I still want people to be able to see the evolution in content, and I think that's fascinating for any creator. Just having the contrast as you grow and change how you write. It's I'm not proud of those videos. I am proud that they at least got somewhat of a following, because in that time I think I hit 1,000 subscribers. Some of the jokes were really drawn out, and some of them were just awkward and didn't work very well, at least to me. Some people found it like to be a charming aspect of the videos, but I didn't think it was going to be enough to set me apart from everybody else, because Cartoon Avatar does humorous skit. I mean, you can apply that to so many different people. I think one of the primary reasons I retired those skits was because of the amount of comments that I got about Midna being thick. It was kind of hilarious. When I told the artist, Jason Allcreator, to draw Midna in all these different poses, I didn't give him any specifics. I was just like, can you convey this emotion? Because he was really good at that. He conveys emotion in such a genuine way when he draws. It's really fascinating to see what he comes up with. But looking back on it now, yeah, there was an emphasis on the ass in that default pose. There was an emphasis on the hips in certain other poses. Which is something I never really even considered when I was making them, because I mean, the imp design for Midna is very attractive. I think we've talked about this before on the channel. She's like 3 feet tall, and clearly, although she has humanoid features, it's just not for me, I guess. But clearly it was for Jason, and it was for a few other people, where it was like, yeah, she's got the like sexy like features. Clearly we can implement those into the drawings, because of course you gotta feel that way too, right? Yeah, I didn't really think that through, and it became it became a huge fucking gag where people would just press me on that shit. So that's one of the primary reasons I stopped using her. It just felt like a weird waifuism kind of thing. This character, by the way, was voiced by Danielle. I asked her to voice the character. After a while, I stopped asking her. I think with Darksiders was just where I was like, I'm gonna phase this character out. I'm not gonna use her anymore. Okay, so her resume's up here. She's been in Ancient Magus Bride. She's been in Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card, Black Clover. Shoutouts to Dani for being in my work, despite it being not very good. And after that, I made a few videos on other games, and I evolved away from humor, obviously, into a more analytical style of video, until finally I retired Midna, and we got to December 2018 when I made a video on Dusk. I followed up my Quake video with a video on Dusk, which is one of my favorite first-person shooters of all time, and that video blew up, you know, for what it was. It blew up, and I managed to get 3,000 subscribers after that video. So I was really happy about that. And so things changed. Things really changed. I am around that time I got to where I am now when it comes to my content, and I was also thinking a lot about the Half-Life series around that point. And well, I shouldn't have to say anything else. Vinny played the video, or talked about the video rather, on his stream, and essentially, I know this, I'm putting a lot of weight on this, but he gave me a career. He got the ball rolling, and since then things have only been going up. But really the only thing I can do is keep creating content, and as long as people are along for the ride, then I feel like I shouldn't have anything to worry about. Anyway, let's talk about a few other things. Let's talk about social medias and stuff like that, and what's going on with the Twitch channel, and finally we'll cap it off with future projects, which I don't want to talk too much about, but you know, because things change, and one of the things I've learned is that you shouldn't be talking about your creative projects, because if you do, you're less likely to finish them. So I gotta be careful what I say. But regardless, let's start with social media. I have a Twitter again, if you'd like to follow that. It's in the description. Although I'm not going to be very active on there, and I hate Twitter so much. I kind of hate being fed bullshit from all these different accounts and watching people argue. It's emotionally draining to like look at it. It's so stupid. Like, it's just a waste of time. There's nothing productive about it. I am more likely to use my Instagram account because there's less of that. You have to post when you have something to post. But the place I am more active in is the Discord server, which you can also check out by looking in the description. There are a lot of regulars there that'd be happy to welcome you. And within that Discord server, we also have a channel dedicated to the Minecraft server that I've set up. This Minecraft server, by the way, is probably one of the most impressive things I've seen my community create. It is, I've always been fascinated with the concept of like fan art. It's just so cool. When people draw something that you've essentially created from your brain, or you've helped, or you and like an artist have helped create, and then people draw their own interpretations of that, and that's why the Vinesauce art community I was always in love with that. So seeing that all culminate in something that people are working together to create is so cool. That Minecraft server is awesome. It feels like a real like city, and I've been showing you some clips here, but it's so cool. Other than that, we got the Twitch channel, which I am probably going to stream soon on after this video goes up. I want to stick to a schedule for the Twitch channel, but I haven't had a reason to, nor have I had the drive, so it'll probably be whatever I like. If you'd like me to stream anything, just let me know. I'll see what I can do, because, hey, you know what? If enough people ask, then essentially I'll do it. Unless it's like one of those old tack Shantae things. I think we're done. I think that's dead. Beyond dead. But in terms of future projects, let's talk about a few that have been heavily requested. Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead will happen. I have a good thesis for a Left 4 Dead video, and it won't happen soon, but it will happen. I love that series. Team Fortress is less likely. Although I do want to do a Team Fortress video someday. That will take a lot of research, consulting with old developers, consulting with veterans to the game, consulting with so many different people that know enough about the game's evolution over time. Like, it's just been on and off. I think the most active periods for me were 2007 and now. So, yeah, it's been kind of weird. But I do want to do that someday. My video game music series is still going to continue. I still have a video planned for it. I have 2 actually planned for it. But one of them is going to be easier to make than the other. The reason I haven't done it is just because I haven't had the time, but I do now. I definitely have the time now, so I'm working on multiple videos right now. But let's cap this all off. Like, this has gone on for a long time, and I'm sure it was entertaining, and I talked about some stuff that people were hoping that I talked about, or like, I hope you were entertained. Like, this has been fun, but I just want to I want to wrap this all up by saying thank you. Like, I can't say thank you enough, but thank you so much for everything. This is something I've wanted to do for 10 years now. I wanted to do this full-time for 10 years, and it's gonna happen. It's actually happening. I'm pretty much devoting all of my time these days to it. I'm not gonna put my eggs in one basket or anything. My dad has always told me not to do that. But I'm really looking forward to the future of this channel. 2020 is going to be a huge year. With all that said, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys really soon.